Hey, Internet people, we are at Season 9 of The Office, and there is a lot to talk about. New faces, new love, old love, great writing, terrible writing, slapstick, cringe, and a sequence of final episodes that attempt to pay off 9 seasons of television.
Don't you guys have everything? I mean, it's just a paper company.
Well, we're more following you guys to see how you turn out.
After the lackluster viewership and poor fan and critical reception from Season 8, the news quickly broke soon thereafter of the departure of Mindy Kaling and BJ Novak from the series. People have big feelings about these two people, and leave them in the comments. The more the merrier. Regardless of our feelings, though, this move was going to greatly impact the fabric of the series. Not only would the mainstay side characters depart from our screens, but their wit and humor would depart from the scripts. But after this news, things really went quiet for the majority of the summer of 2012. So while we all watched the Summer Olympics and we discovered the God particle, waiting our eventual demise at the hands of the evil Mayan calendar, then the news broke that the 9th season of The Office would in fact be its final season. And the guy who started it all, in the US at least, was coming back to ferry the series into the afterlife. In an interview with The W, Daniel said, "This year feels like the last chance to make an artistic ending for the show. This will be the last season of The Office. And we're planning a big, exciting last season. All questions will be answered this year. We're going to see who's behind the documentary." That last part kind of broke me. Like, do we see who's behind the documentary? I guess PBS. Big reveal. A lot of people also have big feelings about Season 8 and 9 of The Office. And I can tell you, having not watched Season 9 for like the last 5 or 6 years, just going from memory, I want to say that I have a significantly higher opinion of Season 9 than I did Season 8. But I am excited to dig in and do what I do for each of these episodes this season. It'll be a journey, as off the top of my head, there are for sure some baffling decisions and different aspects of the story that I wish they would have leaned into or shied away from, as well as some laughs and some heartwarming moments along the way.
Jim.
I've been working hard to get my head around how we're going to do the field guides for this season, and I'm not really going to mess with too much of the formula, as I like the groove that the field guides have been in for the last year and a half or so. I have 23 Office field guides remaining, and I have zero intention of dragging this out at all. As a matter of fact, I'm looking to wrap the Office field guides before the end of this year. But facing down the Office's last season, the resounding question I get is, what am I going to do after The Office? Well, first of all, it's kind of wild to think about this series in general. When I started these field guides, I actually considered them as ancillary content, like a backdrop for the channel, which was going to be about films and theories and, whatever else. But every episode of The Office was kind of a shtick I created to really just be a mechanism to compensate for my weakness of being extremely flaky. It was a way of producing content consistently. And when I started, I wasn't even sure that there was enough to talk about. But like 14.4 million views and 2 million hours of consumed content later, obviously there's a lot to talk about with The Office. And now that I'm facing down the final season, it's bittersweet. On one hand, this series has gotten me through so much. A pandemic, a major surgery, a career change, a life-altering deconstruction of a worldview that I used to hold as a foundational identity.
It's nice to learn new things.
I was talking to myself.
Okay.
A lot. And each week, so many of you choose to watch the stuff that I pour my heart and soul into. And I just want to express the gratefulness that I have for all of the love and support that y'all show. Really, I mean it. Some of you have been with me since the beginning, and some of you are probably watching this video in a year from now. Thank you. But on the other hand, the Office Field Guides as a series never really took off the way that some of those fan theories and commentary videos that I've created did. Now, there are a lot of reasons I believe contribute to that, but mainly, I think I struggled to find a voice and a consistent tone and style for this series, especially in the first half. And plenty of tech issues, writing issues, and all sorts of things that I tried to grow in. And that's what humans do. We adapt and we evolve. But when you have a series that has a lot of variance in quality and in tone that spans 200 videos over the course of 4 years, I get it's going to struggle. So nevertheless, I love what the field guides have become, and I'm extremely proud of the work that goes into each one of these.
I am enormously proud of what I did for that turtle.
But now to the question that I'm asked most often, what are you going to do after The Office? And really the way I see it is we have two options. First, which is where my head has been for the last several years, once I finish The Office, I finish The Office. I move on to producing field guides on different seasons of workplace and office TV shows and films, and sprinkle in the occasional fan theory or video essay here and there. This isn't exactly new. I already started doing this last year with videos about Severance, Superstore Season 1, Office Space, Belko Experiment, and I have a whole lot more that I want to get to. And that's the first choice. And the other choice is doing exactly what a bunch of us did or are doing after we finish The Office's finale. We just start the whole thing over. Season 1, Episode 1.
People say I am the best boss.
I gave Ryan an iPod. I don't care if you are gay or straight or lesbian or overweight. Just get in here right now. I'm Prison Mike. Bankruptcy!
Save Bandit!
Humans are terrible for the environment. Hold on, they're lithium.
I don't care.
I think that pretty much sums it up.
My style, my opinions, my writing, my editing, my communication skills, and my overall approach to creating content has changed so much since I started this channel that I'm pretty confident that starting over on The Office Field Guides would create an entirely new and different series. Each episode would presumably have different takes, different rankings, and with the new behind-the-scenes details to talk about, revealed over the last several years from Office podcast, books, and interviews. Not to mention there's an entirely new series of director cuts episode to explore. I'm certain that restarting could feel fresh and new and different. Honestly, both options excite me, and both options frighten me. Both for different reasons. Moving on from The Office potentially means disenfranchising a large portion of you, meaning that I'm going to have to start new. And this is based on data. The fact that I've released other content over the course of 2022 and 2023, and I didn't see much in the way of ROI on any of that. And then boom, in January, I dropped the Scranton Strangler video and it's through the roof, which makes me go, man, people love to hear me talk about The Office. On the other hand, the field guides just don't produce enough income from ad revenue to even cover the cost of each video's editing bill. Now, Mechanic does fantastic work, and I believe it's worth every dollar and then some. But for every Scranton Strangler video I make that does well, they're basically supporting the Field Guide series that isn't profitable, robbing Peter to pay Paul. So as honest as I can be, I'm open and actively rooting for a rewatch series of The Office Field Guides, using the Superfan episodes as a base, but also knowing if it doesn't make financial sense for me to do it, I just can't do it. I'd have to rather spend that time and energy on fewer videos that could produce higher ad revenue. But I don't feel right making this decision on my own. Each week, thousands and thousands of you tune in to watch me do my thing on each episode of The Office. So it only seems fair to give you an option to keep that going in a rewatch series. And the only win-win-win that I can think of here is through a supporter campaign. If I can reach a threshold of around 500 supporters on Patreon and or YouTube memberships before The Office's finale, that's enough for me to barrel down and just restart the series. And I didn't just come up with that number arbitrarily. With that, I would have enough money to pay Mechanic for longer and more thorough videos. And then also I can take care of some of my own financial responsibilities. So really,
Our balls are in your court.
and if we don't hit that threshold, no harm, no foul. I'm only holding this campaign to give the option a shot. Keep in mind that if I restart The Office, I'll still reserve time to do videos on things other than The Office. And if I don't restart every episode of this series, it's not like I'm never going to talk about The Office again. Those commentary videos are lucrative. So as this campaign is going on over the course of season 9, I'm not going to impact the rewatchability of these field guides by popping in the middle of it and being like, this is where we're at, join the campaign. I will, though, add an end screen to each video moving forward, including the names of all the channel's supporters, along with the current count of the subscribers contributing. Either way, thank you so much for watching. I love that I get to create stuff on the internet and just put it out there, and then people say I'm fat and ugly and stupid. And then also people are like, wow, this was really good. You get everything. I am looking forward to season 9 of The Office Field Guides. I also did start a podcast with my buddy Clint called Vilify, in which we talk about villains from TV and film. You should go check that out if you like podcasts and you like me. I have lots of stuff written already for the channel, whole content calendar. Very excited. We'll see how this campaign goes. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.